All right. Let's see. I'm just going to take a moment and get our screen ready. All right. Welcome to this little free 20-minute, might be closer to 30-minute intro to Ayurveda and the Living Your Ayurveda program. Thank you for clicking on and listening in to what I might have to offer. Hopefully it's something that you are interested in. This first slide just gives you the basic contact information for myself. And we'll get right into it, into the welcome and introduction. So who is Linda Rowe anyway? We'll start with that. My name is Linda Rowe. It is me. I've been a yoga guide for 20 plus years, and I live in northern Maine in the Northeast United States. I was introduced to Ayurveda in the mid-90s, where I started informal study, reading books. Many of us have started that way. And in 2011, I completed a year-long study program in the US with New World Ayurveda and Dr. Paul Douglas, which was a great foundation for me. Presently, I am continuing my studies at Ayurveda First with Jessica Villela, the first and youngest American female to receive her Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery degree from India. And in this program, I am, of course, learning Ayurveda more deeply and much more breadth. I'm also learning Sanskrit in the transliterated version as well as the full script, which is in progress kind of thing, so that I can read directly from the texts. I created the Living Your Ayurveda program 2 years ago as a way to teach the basics of Ayurveda to my local community. As an Ayurvedic practitioner, I wanted to work with people one-on-one. But I found that their level of knowledge and understanding of Ayurveda wasn't quite there. It was very hard to communicate, and I had to do a lot of that educational stuff. So I decided to create a course. And I spread this course over a year's time, so people had a chance to actually digest the information that was shared and to practice what we learned in the classes. So it was quite interactive and was well received. For those who stuck with it, found it to be life-changing, and it's how they navigate their health these days. They understood it would take time for the mind to shift. Ayurveda is not just about learning spices and herbs and remedies for this thing or that thing. It's a whole and complete science. So it takes a little bit of time to wrap our head around it. Some of us do it more quickly than others, but basically it takes a little bit of time, in some way, shape, or form. So I've taken the content from the year-long course and turned it into 10 one-hour classes, which I'll go into more. So this is an education course for the layperson, all right? It's not going to train anyone to be an Ayurvedic practitioner. It is not a marketing scheme. The only thing I'm selling is this educational course. Would I hope that you purchase it and go through the course? Yes, I would hope that. But besides that, there's nothing else hidden or connected to that. Will you totally understand Ayurveda and all that it is after this course? Probably not. You will probably have more questions, but there'll be different questions than what you started out with. So you did learn something, and that's a great thing. Some people, you might ask, is it hard to teach general Ayurveda? When the approach is totally based on our unique selves? Well, yes, but we have to start somewhere. And I think I have found this combination of content and interactive work to be effective. So I approach this as I do my yoga classes. I feel it's important to learn the foundational components to yoga, to practice safely and strongly, and then you have the tools to build on to do more challenging poses, to go and do other forms of hatha practices, or to do other forms of body movement practices, and then always being able to return to the basics, which are so valuable. So that's my approach to Ayurveda as well. We go over the foundation, we build a strong foundation, and then you can build upon that. So let's see, here's our picture of our iceberg, which is a wonderful depiction of Ayurveda. Many of us have picked up bits and pieces along the way, or we just see this top of the iceberg and this is Ayurveda and this is what I know to be Ayurveda. But really, there's so much more, right? And if we just stopped and thought a minute, oh, yes, there must be more to it. And indeed there is. So this iceberg is just a great image for us to keep in mind as we go through the course and as you go through life as well. It helps you to keep that frame of reference. All right, so here we go about the course. The course is made up of 10 1-hour, roughly 1 hour classes. They are pre-recorded. So I am talking to a camera. I'm trying to imagine the different people who might be attending the course. So try to put in some good examples, real life examples, hopefully examples that will resonate with you. And it's ready to stream. So all the classes are recorded ahead of time. That way you can watch one class per week, digest the information, and then the next class is ready for you. If you want to do it quicker and more than one class per week, go for it. But you can try it, but really don't rush through it. If you've got the time, then sure, you can do multiple classes. But the information really won't stick well if you try to do it too quickly. So give yourself some time to do the assignment or the observation or the experiment that goes along with the class. And again, allow yourself to digest. You can always review the class. No harm in watching the class multiple times in a week. That would be a great thing. Let's see. It gives you a solid understanding of some of the foundational principles of Ayurveda. It gives you ways to apply these principles and practices in terms of self-care and daily living to help keep you and your family healthy. Okay, so I love to learn. I love to teach what I learn, and I love that what I teach to be applicable and practical to your life. So that's what Ayurveda is really great about that. And that's what this course is geared to do. It gives you an understanding in part also of the basics of how imbalances can possibly turn into illness. And this is also very, very practical, because when we can start recognizing signs and symptoms in ourselves and dealing with them at that level, hey, we're going to be in really great shape. So also, this course is geared to create a basic beginner foundational knowledge base of Ayurveda for the layperson. And when I say this, I've used basic and foundation a few times already in this presentation. And I want you to know that it's not like I'm just going to offer, 3 or 4 things and the rest of the course is filler. That's not the intention here. Basic and beginner and foundational are usually quite involved and take some time, as I said. So they're not simple. Basic does not mean simple here. Beginner does not mean simple. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that. Then you can build upon what you've received to utilize on your own, how you choose to. Or if you need more guidance or support, you could work cooperatively with an Ayurvedic practitioner in your area or online. And boy, will they be happy for you to bring such knowledge and understanding of Ayurveda into the meeting. In addition, I am partnered with a mentor teacher who, when services are needed and retained, if I'm working one-on-one with somebody, can give further guidance and expertise and support to that one-on-one experience. So that's another way to utilize the class. Let's see, this course teaches, make sure I see where I am. Okay, this course teaches body-mind awareness in order to help you keep yourself in a normal range of balance. I am not practicing medicine, nor am I teaching nutrition. We'll learn about food from an Ayurvedic viewpoint. all to help you make your own wise choices. We look at daily habits. We look at food and the seasons and the environment in class as tools, but there are also other tools for you to explore on your own, such as massage, body work, energy work, yoga, tai chi, meditation, breath work, spices, food, all to maintain this range of normal balance. Okay, let's see. And I am using notes to help keep me on track, and I just got off track. Okay, so yes, before we go into the next piece, let me kind of wrap up the information about the course, just to remind you that Ayurveda is not a linear topic. So having said that, I attempt to create a beginning point, but just know that in Ayurveda, everything is connected to everything else. So it may seem like I'm jumping around, or I'm using words and concepts that we haven't gone over, or I might repeat myself. But as I said, Ayurveda is more circular. So we're going to double back, and we're going to repeat words, and we're going to repeat concepts. And it's just all good. I attempt to present the major pieces and show you how they fit together in different ways. So we can begin to think about this journey of this course as a three-dimensional puzzle, right? Not just a flat puzzle on the table, but 3 dimensions, or even a hologram, right? Those cool holograms that you can look at something like it's got dimension, and yet it's a picture, or it's an image, but it's in 3 dimension, and you can see the wholeness from any angle. Or you might want to look at it as like a mystery to solve. And you become the detective. Any of those ways are just going to be helpful for you to process the information. So we're going to take this in little chunks so that you can more easily digest the information and implement it. The structure of the class will go pretty much like this. I'll check in with you at the top of each class. We'll do a little mini review or recap. I'll ask you about the previous assignment. The classes are all pre-recorded, so if you have questions, you can utilize email communication with me. And then I'll get to the body of the class topic. And at the end, I'll offer up an assignment, an experiment, an observation, something that's appropriate to the class as a way for you to be interactive with it and to put it into action. So that's the course. Let's see, let's get into the rest of the presentation. 2 other points I want to kind of expand upon is to give you a better understanding of what Ayurveda includes. And I also want to introduce some very big esoteric concepts which have a wide applicability. They're not particularly geared specifically and only to Ayurveda, but they are helpful in understanding Ayurveda, I believe. So let's see. So let's start with the word Ayurveda. The word itself contains its meaning, the science of long life, the science of longevity, the science of living long. You get the gist, okay? Ayurveda is a perspective on balance and imbalance rather than a label or a diagnosis or a condition. So this connects very much to the next point, that this balance is not stationary or static or 50-50, even Steven. Okay, we need to move beyond this idea that balance is like, a balanced beam, like we're on a little board or a little piece of wood, or we're on a wire and we can't go too far to the left or the right. Okay, we want to think of balance as a fluid range, a dynamic balance, or a homeostasis. So this is going to become very important. And that some of us have a range that may be like this. So our sense of normal goes from here to here. And anything in between those 2 points, we feel normal. And when something happens outside or beyond that range, then we start to feel like not ourselves. And other people have a range that's like this, and they can't go very far before they go out of balance. Out of their normal range of balance. So the sense of normal range of balance, sense of normal There's a fluidity to it. And I just really want to make that clear. When we create enough consciousness and awareness, we're going to naturally make healthy adjustments. Let's see. It can sound like there are a lot of rules to Ayurveda and that it can feel constricted. But once we get the foundation, we gain a lot of freedom. It really does free us up. Once we kind of recreate our boundaries. And if we're certainly dealing with some kind of illness or some major imbalance, then yeah, we might be constricted for a period of time as we try to help the body get itself back on track. And we're also looking here at changing how we think about things. Our thoughts and beliefs are not concrete, right? Our thoughts are more like habits. We just kind of get into a habit about them. So I want to share a few ideas about this that we can take with us. You can take this concept anywhere with you. But we do need to look at these ideas with the, let's see, these, yeah, let me try this again. Okay. I want to share a few ideas to take with us into these classes. These ideas will help with the shift in how we think about our health. It's interesting to note that sometimes we think our thoughts are pretty concrete and can't change, but they can. And we also often don't see what's right below our nose, what's right in front of us. So for example, cultures hone in on specific ways of thinking that are going to support the culture. But there are lots of different cultures out there, right? In different countries, there are different cultures, and they each have different approaches, and yet they work. So there's not just one way to do something, right? No, there isn't. And that goes for anything. So again, the same goes for our views on health. We've gotten into the habit of going to someone else to tell us what is wrong with us. We've got into the habit of focusing on the body and breaking it down into body parts. And it works in some instances, but really not a lot. We need another perspective. We need another view, and Ayurveda gives us this. And this is, again, this is a great nugget to take with you, whether you do the class or not. But I'm hoping that is intriguing for you. Next, I want to just go over some basic concepts. And what I think I'd like you to do is just to maybe sit quietly, just going to ease into the back of your chair, close your eyes for a moment, and just let me read these to you. And like we're planting seeds, like I'm going down a little row and planting each one of these, and just being open to that. So get comfortable, and I'll go through these. So the first one is we want to remember that nature heals. Healing is allowed. We actively create the environment for it to take place. Blockages create disconnection from the life force. Consciousness is creative and nurturing. What we put our awareness on grows and strengthens. We want to utilize our intention to create flow and balance. All right, you can open your eyes now, and we'll continue on to more of the intellectual thinking stuff about Ayurveda. So let's go over a few more, unpack Ayurveda a little bit more for you. So Ayurveda is a way of living with awareness as it promotes longevity. It is considered a scientific system that includes a philosophy, a mythology, food, yoga, mental, spiritual refinement. It's very inclusive. It has branches of study that utilize herbal formulations, the use of minerals, the use of surgery, detoxification, tonification, focusing on prevention and optimizing vitality. Pretty extensive. And in Ayurveda, nothing is separate. Everything is connected. So Ayurveda also creates an intimate understanding and relationship to nature, where we learn, relearn, or remember to observe tastes, aromas, textures, qualities for ourselves. And if we are not aware of what our nature is and the qualities of nature, or we choose to ignore, we're going to become ill in some way, shape, or form to some degree. So our modern malaise is said to be largely caused by this separation and this distance from nature and the rhythms of nature. So that's what we want to get back to. Causes of disease originate within, but so do many of the preventive measures that keep us optimal. That's key. Health is the whole reason for living. Without it, you cannot enjoy or pursue your life's goals, right? If you're sick, it's very hard to work, isn't it? And if you're not working, then you're having a hard time building prosperity. And you're having a hard time enjoying life or moving through other goals in your life. So health is very important, and we have to put it first, and we have to take back the responsibility for it. Ayurveda gives insight to the cause of disease and the means to obtain the best health. So again, it does both. It helps us to understand, and it helps us to come back to our health from disease. Ayurveda grew out of accumulated knowledge of experience of thousands of Ayurvedic doctors. So it is not new. It is very old, but it is new to us, to many of us in the West, and that's okay. The wisdom of Ayurveda is a way of life that changes with the seasons, right? It changes with the weather, changes with time, and changes with place. It accounts for changes in dietary behavior adjustments from preconception to old age to death. That's incredible. It offers routines for all the climates and regions. It is universal. It focuses on the uniqueness of the individual. No one has the same constitution or disease. And no one gets the same recommendations because they have the same imbalance. They've all come to it in different ways. So Ayurveda is a science of unfolding truth. It's not static. It's good for every time of life. It's good for every period of life. And it deals with health in all its aspects. It's very holistic. It addresses physical health, mental balance, spiritual well-being, social welfare, environmental considerations, dietary and lifestyle habits. And it addresses managing specific imbalances. Because it has a respect for nature, has an appreciation for life, and is the means to empower the individual. That's pretty amazing. So I think that this old approach to health and wellness is just right for these new times. Taking responsibility back for your health and improving the quality of your life. Well, what's wrong with that? I think that's where we need to be. So I hope you consider taking the rest of this course. It may sound like common sense, and indeed it is. But on the other hand, Ayurveda takes our sense of common sense to places that many of us in our Western culture have not taken time to think about. Sometimes we need to be reminded of what we know or what we used to know and get our minds back on track. Bring some new light in and see and understand the power that we have in creating our health and well-being. And as such, letting go of the thoughts and ideas that kind of muck up the works for us and get us all out of whack. So I thank you for listening and watching. I think, let's see, at the end of this presentation, there should be a button that will link you to the course. You can think about it, and you can come back to the site and you can sign up, if you choose to. I hope to create a safe space that is comfortable and inviting for you, with a little humor, a chance to be interactive. And if you are self-motivated and love to learn and want to do good things for your body, then this is a great place to start. So again, I thank you kindly for taking the time to watch and listen. Have a fantastic and wonderful day. Bye-bye.
The broadcast has ended.